Power Rankings time. They're published at PFT every Tuesday in the noon hour or thereabouts. I reserve the right to be late, but we have to be right on time when the show's on the air to discuss them, and they are posted at PFT. Chris, I'm going to rattle off the top 10 for the benefit of the folks listening on the radio. The Patriots, shockingly, are still number 1.
Right.
The Chiefs are number 2 still. Cowboys bump from 4 to 3. The Rams are up from 5 to 4. Seahawks at 5. They were 6. Eagles drop from 3 down to number 6. Packers bump up 2 to 7. The Ravens are number 8. The Saints hang in there at number 9 after losing to the Rams. And the Vikings round out the top 10 after losing to Green Bay. They were number 8. What do you think of the top 10?
Well, I think you got the right teams in there. I'm not going to argue that. So I guess what I want to ask you, was there any thought of the Cowboys being 2 and the Chiefs being 3? Did you entertain that at all?
No, because, you've got to have a really bad showing as a winner to fall.
Right.
And they won 28-10.
Yeah,
Even though
the
offense only showed up for one quarter, it showed up pretty big in that one quarter.
Yeah, it definitely did. I just wanted to know kind of your logic, because the Cowboys, have looked phenomenal, and I know it's the Giants and the Redskins, and we're not ready to crown them champs of the world yet, but I just wanted to know your thoughts there. Okay, here's the other one I got for you, though. Let me hear your thought process there with Eagles in front of the Packers and Ravens, who are 2-0. Eagles kind of coming off that underwhelming loss there on Sunday night.
Yeah, look, they could have won that game, even though more than half the team, as it seemed at the time, ended up being injured. They were there. They had it. And, they went on the road. It was a tough opponent. It was a desperate Falcons team. And also, I don't want to be too dramatic in the movement in the early week. If the Eagles aren't really one of the top teams in the NFL, that will prove itself over time, and they will keep falling. So, the Ravens started lower because I really wasn't sure what their offense was going to be. But as they are winning these games, and again, look, they destroyed the Dolphins, who won't destroy the Dolphins this year. And they only beat the Cardinals by 6 points at home.
Yeah.
Even though Lamar Jackson looks phenomenal, it was not a blowout win, and they should be more than 6 points better than a team that at best is a work in progress. So, the Ravens still bumped up 3 spots, but I'm not going to give in to the temptation after 2 weeks to have all the 2-0 teams clustered together without interruption, all the 1-1 teams next, and all the 0-2 teams at the bottom. I think there's more nuance than that at play here.
Well, what gave the edge to the Packers over the Ravens? Like, I just look at your top 10, and I know you got Packers 7, Ravens 8. I probably would have gone Ravens 7, Packers 8. I just,
Well, because the Packers, you got to look at where they were last week.
Yeah, okay.
The Packers were already ahead of the Ravens.
Right.
The Packers beat a team at home that is better than the team the Ravens beat at home. So there's no reason to jump the Packers. The Packers had ultimately an impressive performance because they scored 21 quick points, and then they held it together as long as they could to keep the Vikings from surpassing that amount.
Okay.
So I just think the Vikings are better than the Cardinals, so I'm more impressed by what the Packers have done, especially the Packers. The Packers went to Chicago and won.
Yeah.
I don't know that the Ravens could do that right now. And we'll find out about the Ravens this week, Chris, because they go to play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
If the Ravens are for real, then they win in Kansas City, something they almost did last year.
Yeah, well, and, I just push back there. I don't know if we know what the hell the Bears are either, too. They had a shamrock up their butt to win that game last week. So they could be an 0-2 football team very easily. That's where I want to get to. Can we go to your 11 through 20? Because I think this is the most interesting part of your power rankings this week.
We can go to 11 through 20. Let me give the folks on the radio a very quick rundown of 11 through 20. Chargers 11, Bears 12, up 1 spot, even though they stole that win in Denver. Colts 13, Titans 14, Browns 15, Bills 16, and then the bottom or the continuation of the bottom of the top or the second 10, 17 49ers, 18 Steelers, 19 Falcons, and 20 Texans. All right, have at it.
Well, I think you're disrespecting 16 and 17. I know that they started down lower in your list, but I certainly sit here can make a case and go the Bills and the 49ers. They can be every bit in that conversation, ahead of the Browns and the.
Hang on.
Yep.
All right, let's test this out.
Yep.
Browns versus Bills right now. Who wins?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that's a close one. It depends where that game's at. I think The way the Bills
MetLife Stadium, the Bills win.
That's a tough one though. So if it's almost a tie, I would give the tie to the 2-0 team. I guess that's where I'd go there. That's what I would say. 49ers.
Yeah, okay. How about 49ers Browns are going to be playing on Monday Night Football in a couple of weeks.
We're going to see that in a couple of weeks. Yes. So I think again, you're being nice to the Titans, I guess, is where I look at the Bears, Colts, Titans, Browns. Okay, and I could look at those, and I don't know where I would have put that exactly. I think I would have had the Bills and the 49ers ahead of them right now. I do. I think they've earned enough in the first 2 weeks with the way they've played, and then the Bears, Colts, Titans, Browns have looked shaky enough. Except for maybe the Colts, all right? So maybe I'll say the Bears, Titans, and Browns shaky enough to where I think I would have give the Bills and the 49ers the edge over the Colts, Titans, and Browns. Colts, Titans, and Browns.
Here's the problem, and it's no different than the weekly poll that they do in college football, that where you start really does hamper your climb, and you need people in front of you to lose, and sometimes lose multiple games.
You got to talk to a committee? I mean, this is your damn list. You can move them there if you want. I mean, what do you like?
I don't want the movement to. I don't want the movements to be too dramatic, and I do think that some of these teams that are 1-1 are better than the teams that are 2-0. I mean, the Bills ultimately beat two bad teams. They beat the Jets and the Giants. And they started lower.
Okay,
and I still think I would take the Browns
home.
over the Bills.
The Browns lost at home and beat the Jets without Sam Darnold. So you're giving them a little more credit than I think, and you're not giving the Bills the same credit. I think you're being mean there.
I think if the Browns and the Bills were playing in Cleveland, the Browns would be favored by 4.5 or 5 points. And if the Browns and the Bills were playing in Buffalo, the Browns would maybe be a 1-point favorite, or it would be a push. So I'm comfortable with the Browns ahead of the Bills.
Okay, yep. I don't think I could do that. I think I would have gone the 49ers over those few. But the rest of your list, okay, I'm okay with that. I mean, I got
a question for you. I got a question for you.
Right.
What do you think about the Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger still at number 18?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think you're insane to put them there right now.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
You should have. Yes. I don't. I mean, they've looked not good at all. I mean, they played competitive last week. I shouldn't say not good at all. They certainly had a chance to win that game. But I would think I would look at it right now, and yeah, I might have had the Steelers not too much farther down. In fact, I maybe just would have had the Falcons, okay, and the Texans in front of them, and then probably the Steelers. And not because I think necessarily the teams are better, but with the Big Ben aspect of it as well. I think I would have had the Steelers at 20, and then the Falcons at 19, or Falcons at 18, Texans at 19.
Yeah, I feel like that now that the Steelers are down and out, this is the moment where the Steelers organization that I'm familiar with over the years finds a way to start digging. And I vividly recall 1989, they lost to the Browns 51-0 in the first game of the season. They were blown out by the Bengals the second week of the season, and they were done. They were cooked. It was over. Disband the franchise. The Vikings, who were a Super Bowl favorite in 1989, roll into Pittsburgh for week 3, and the Steelers won that game. And the next thing you know, the Steelers made it to the playoffs in 1989.
So are you saying you were going to pick a Steelers upset maybe in San Francisco this week? You think the 49ers are buying their own hype a little too much?
I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
I'm definitely thinking about it. We'll find out tomorrow.
Mikey Likey, he's thinking about going with the upset there. Okay.
Well, I just think that when you – and we know that this is real, Chris, the concept of circling an opponent, right? Now the Steelers are a team that other teams are going to look at and say,
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how you would transcribe that, but they're just going to have that attitude. And it's going to be a real challenge for your buddy Kyle Shanahan to get his players to recognize and appreciate that this is still a dangerous football team, and they can't just go out there and coast, because they were able to kind of coast against the Bengals.
Yes.
So it's going to be a challenge. Home opener, stay focused. They were away from home for a whole week. Everybody's saying how great they are. They're back home, kind of a little celebratory. It's, we were gone, and now we're back in our routine, and we're playing a team that doesn't have a starting quarterback. We're going to be 3-0. We're going to be 3-0 for the first time since 1998. This is great. right. Well, I don't know.
You're right. And the Steelers are going to come in pissed off as hell and ready to battle. I mean, there's no doubt. It sets up as a trap game. I'm just hoping that, my buddy Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, that, winning is still so fresh and exciting to the team that they don't fall into that trap. I mean, that's what I'm hoping there. And I've liked what I've seen from the 49ers through the first 2 weeks. Their defense, Mike, their offense exploded last week, but their defense is going to be a force, I think, when as the season goes on.
And, and again, with the Steelers, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Do they have the personnel necessary to do what they need to do to beat the 49ers? I haven't made my final pick yet, but I am at least toying with the idea of the Steelers pulling off an upset of the San Francisco 49ers. All right, we need to take a break. You can see the full PFT Power Rankings at ProFootballTalk.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.